So we're back at home. We explored the whole town. It's your mom's van. Is there anything wacky around the sides? No. Chris, you going home? Not yet? Huh? Sure, alright, yeah. Yeah, alright. And guess it's goodbye for today. See you tomorrow, Chris. Chris, how is studying with your... Why, Chris, is that your friend? Why don't you invite her inside? Chris, I should, probably get going, and I was going to bake a pie. Did you want any? Guess I can come over for a bit. So we have Susie coming over today in Chapter 2. Feel free to come in. That walking animation there reminded me of, like, the Ministry of Silly Walks. Oh, excuse me. I'm Chris's mother, Toriel. Yes, ma'am, I remember. Oh, you do? And you are Susie, are you not? You remember my name, too? Of course. Miss Alphys is a good friend of mine. She often talks about you. I'm glad to hear it. Chris, the hell is Alphys saying about me? Susie, why don't you wash your hands over there? Then we can make the pie together. Make it together? I don't know how to... Do not worry, I can teach you. Okay. Yeah, that's a Ministry of Silly Walks thing there. Chris, Susie seems like a nice girl. I'm very happy to see that you are friends with her, but... Chris, I heard from Alphys about her behavior. If by any chance she influences you, leave the chalk alone, alright? Hands washed. Wonderful. Now we can... Oh, Chris, how about you show Susie... How about you show Susie how to bake it? Chris, you know how to make pie? The hell haven't you made me any of them, dumbass? Pie-hoarding piece of... excuse me, ma'am. Susie, you can just call me Toriel outside of school. Oh, okay, sweet. Huh? Chris? No, you need to wash your hands too. Then I suppose I shall teach Susie for now. Susie and I will start getting ready to make the pie. We will? Wait. It's a TV. It looks like it's plugged in, but it's dusty. So we need to go wash our hands here too? The sink, you could wash your hands here, but isn't the sink in the bathroom better? Sure? I guess we will. It's a bathroom sink. Will you run the tap? Yeah. It started to run. It's making a lot of noise. Is this gonna be the weird ending that like chapter 1 had? Yeah. Here we go again. I should have gone upstairs first after all, like I was thinking about potentially doing and seeing if there was new things up there, but... Don't jump out the window. What are you doing? Don't pull a papyrus. What are you doing? Well, let us get the flour. So that's this bag. And you just... Oops. Hey, Susie, you have flour on your nose. I meant to do that. You would stop to smell the flour, eh? Come on. Now, on to the next part. So, where the heck is Chris? Oh, Chris, sir, does this sometimes. Oh, I should hurry. Getting sleepy. You know what they call a sleeping Susie? What? They would call her a snoozy. I guess you'd be a Snoriel. Snoriel. Snoozy and Snoriel. You really like that one, huh? Wasn't it funny? Alright, where the hell is Chris? Toriel? The pie is nearly done. Oh, the sugar. Wait here a moment. I left it in the car. Okay. When Toriel starts going outside, Chris comes back in. What? You just throw it in the cupboard harder? Did you... Wait, no, you... I can control you again, so you put it back in yourself. Hey, Chris, hurry up next time. We're already almost done. So the soul, which is... Or the heart, which is essentially us as the player, was put back in again, huh? Unlike the ending of Chapter 1, where it was stuck in the cage and the knife was brandished and Chris was looking all evil and stuff. But somehow, between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, the soul got back in anyway and out of the cage? But... I'm so confused. So what's next? Oh, we're the pie. We already worked quite hard, have we not? But we finish it later. Okay. And, guess I'll walk home? Oh, no, there's no need to do that. Oh, actually, Susie, would you like to stay over? Huh? I mean, if it's okay, then you're gonna stay in Azrael's bed, maybe? Here, look at this. Or the couch. Our couch is used to being used as a bed. Oh, I thought it might be Azrael's bed. Maybe she'll stay in Azrael's bed later on in the story or something? It's not perfect, but we could all sleep out here. Yeah, sounds good to me, yeah. Splendid. I'll make sure everything is in order. Just call your parents, will you not? Yeah, of course. You have parents to call? So what the hell, a sleepover? Damn, I haven't had one of those in forever. Hey, Chris, it's not like someone has to tell you to sit, right? Here, chill out for a sec. Now what? I got it. Maybe between the pillows here. There, knew I'd find the remote in there. You'd always find good stuff wedged in the couch. Jeez, it's dusty. When did you last use this thing? Well, who cares? Let's just watch TV. So, what are we gonna marathon tonight? Blood Crushers 3, Hellbusters, Invasion of the Cat Betters. Maybe Icy, the movie. The movie's more your speed, huh, Chris? It's been a good day, huh, Chris? You, Rousey, Lancer, everyone. It's just cool hanging out together, right? That's why, don't you think we should try to have them come over to our world? Come on, think about how much better it would be. So, it seems like this world is like make-believe and fictional, but maybe with the things that Susie's been saying and the impression that we got from Falco and Noelle is maybe everyone but Chris thinks that it is real and thinks that like it is a portal to other worlds, or like maybe Chris is like manifesting these worlds in some way or something like that. Like how stunned Susie seemed about putting Lancer in the inventory with Lancer being a card and such. And being like, whoa, Lancer's here because he was in your inventory. What? That's crazy. Or like maybe we could bring him here. Wouldn't that be great? And we could hang out together here so I don't know, maybe to the others it seems real. Because, the way that Susie's talking about it here is as if those worlds are real. And I don't know, maybe it is a real world that Chris is creating somehow. I don't know where the story's going here, but the impression that I've gotten from Chapter 2 here. Like, after Chapter 1, it was like, okay, here's the reveal that, like, the story's a fictional make-believe world kind of thing. but something that Susie was drawn into enough that she was like, hey, let's come back tomorrow. But with all the words in chapter 2 and things have been said, it seems like she feels like it's real. It's no longer saying like, hey, we should go back to that world tomorrow. Now she's talking about, hey, how great would it be if we could bring them here? So, it's... Elsie could do our homework. Lancer could live under your bed. We could all walk to school together. It'd be perfect, you know? I mean, it'd be unstoppable. That's what I'm saying. Is it even possible? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's the attitude. What if Elsie became a teacher's pet, though? Or not if. Just feels like a matter of time, honestly. Well, whatever. As long as he brings me an apple, too. What? Apple shampoo? No, I didn't drink any of that. Whatever. Just get back to watching. So, festival's coming up, right? A thing where the town becomes a carnival. Stupid, right? But say you had to, take someone. Noelle or Rousey. You. I had to dodge the question, dumbass. I mean, if I went, obviously you'd be there too. That goes without saying, right? Let's just go back to watching TV. Now this is what I'm talking about. Giant monster movie special. Always like them better than the giant human movies. Now this is something we can marathon. Are you ready, Chris? 12 hours of building, bashing, card crunching action. As we are locked in, got it? Better not see you move until your eyes are bloodshot. Now let me just get comfortable here and... There. Susie fell asleep. What? I was just thinking, oh, never mind. I was about to say maybe I need to adjust the doggy cam down a little bit. Something. Officer? Officer? Thank goodness I finally got through. Thought I saw someone prowling around outside. And when I checked our car, the tires looked like they'd been slashed. That was Chris, wasn't it? Officer, if you could please come over. You will? Soon? Thank you. You're already asleep. So when Chris went out the window, so put the soul in the cupboard so that you didn't have control, jumped out the window, slashed the tires, and then came back in, and then put the soul back in after the deed had been done. So you, as the player, don't get to decide whether Chris slashes the tires or not, I guess. Again? Did you put it back in again? Did you shove it in between the couch cushions? I think it was shoved between the couch cushions. Considering this is Chris's actions and the player doesn't have control. Don't. Chris is the one creating the portals. Maybe they are real. And then you put the soul back after the deed's done? That's it, isn't it? Is this the Flowey TV? Is that the vibes the player's meant to be getting here? So, about that. So, I think we got the answer of how the soul got back into Chris between chapter 1 and chapter 2. I'm pretty sure Chris willingly put it back. Because the ending sequence there was Chris takes the soul out, puts it somewhere like the cupboard or between the couch cushions. I thought I heard some lyrics for a second there. I thought maybe it was like a weird warped version of Don't Forget. Maybe there's some lyrics deep in there. I don't know if it's Laura Shigihara again. As we continued in chapter 3. Because, yeah, so between chapter 1 and chapter 2, the soul must have been put back willingly, considering, yeah, Cyber's world. The soul must have been put back willingly because, you know, it was shown there where it's like, turn on the faucet, take out the soul, which is the player, essentially, throw it into the cupboard. And then you no longer have control of Chris as Chris jumps out the window and slashes the tires on Toriel's car. And then comes back in again. And then takes the soul and puts it back in. And then all of a sudden you have control as a player again. And you can, you know, keep on moving around and doing things. And then there was like the bit at the end where after the others had fallen asleep, took the soul out again, puts it between the couch cushions, takes out that same knife again, plunges it into the ground, causing this like darkness to sprout up, and then goes and sits back on the couch, takes out the soul again, and you can't really see it because the fog's coming over, but presumably it's put back in again or something like that for chapter 3 coming up, or like it's in again by the time chapter 3 starts at least. Something like that. But with the first chapter here, it very much gave the impression where it's like, okay, this is a make-believe world. You find out at like the end of the story that that's a make-believe world because, you know, the lights come on in the supply closet and you see like all the items around you that are very reminiscent of your adventure. Like they're clearly objects. And like, you know, the chapter 2 very much confirmed it as well with, you know, you put Lancer into your pocket. He literally becomes a card and you put it into your pocket. So like it absolutely is a world that is based off of a bunch of different objects. Like I'm just now noticing how the queen here is also kind of shaped a bit like a mouse as well, in a sense. So like the first chapter basically told you that this is make-believe, but like it was very possible that like, hey, maybe it was just something that Susie really enjoyed and was like, hey, let's come back and do it tomorrow. Like really enjoying the role play that was going on. Like that's what I figured that maybe they were doing, is they were role playing. But with the way that Susie was speaking at the end there, and, you know, the impressions that, you know, both Noelle and Rivali had of, you know, being like, whoa, was that just a dream, and experiencing the same thing? Like it couldn't have been role playing. Like it had to have been real. Because, like, again, the end of chapter 1 was just like, oh, the lights come on in the supply closet, and the two of you, like Chris and Susie, could have literally just been role playing it out. But that could not have been the case for Noelle and Rivali, because they woke up and were like, whoa, was that just a dream? Like what the hell was that we just experienced anyway? Was that a dream? And Susie seemed kind of in the dark as well, because she was like, hey, what if we brought those friends of ours to this world as well? So I no longer think that it's the characters role-playing. I think that these are real worlds that Chris is manifesting in some way, with some weird power that they have that they used in like a dark way at the end there or something like that. And it makes me wonder if when the soul is not with Chris and Chris can do things outside of the player's actions, is Chris the knight that's going around and opening these portals and getting darkness to spread and stuff? I don't get it. Like I feel like our main antagonist within this story is like Chris's own demons in a way, and that somehow Chris here has like some sort of supernatural power of some sort. Like after the first chapter, it's like they could have still just been like some normal kiddo or something like that, but chapter 2 has shown that they have some sort of supernatural power here of some sort. They were able to, you know, stab that knife into the ground and bring a whole bunch of fog up and seemingly change the world around them to potentially that, you know, make-believe world that maybe chapter 3 will just start in immediately this time, since there was like no school tomorrow or anything like that as well. So they do have some sort of a actual power, and it seems like it's what's making them manifest these actual real worlds out of objects and the environment around them and stuff like that. Like creating the computer lab into a computerized world or something like that. Or the supply closet with a bunch of misc pieces around into like a game board kind of area and stuff like that. So yeah, the impression that I had before was this was roleplay on the characters' parts. But now I'm convinced that it's not roleplay. The worlds that they're going into are real. But how do you define real? Are they like actual real worlds that are being created, or are they weird like pocket dimensions that are like a virtual machine that you run on your computer or something like that, or like a weird mix of both? Is what I wonder. Something else that I found intriguing about chapter 2 here, after exploring around, was that kind of underground facility to the south of the town. So before chapter 2 came out, I did like a bit of a refresher on, you know, the lore and stuff of chapter 1. And apparently in chapter 1, if you go to that place, there's nobody in front of it or anything, and you still can't get in. And you interact with the door, and I think it makes the same gaster sounds that using your phone in the other worlds will do, like those same glitchy sound effects. And chapter 2 has now seemingly just confirmed that there's something scary in there, and Chris knows what it is. Somehow. Was it the thing that gave Chris their powers? Was it a thing that resulted in this alternate dimension being made, and that's where Chris is from? Who knows? Something like that. But there's something dark, there's something evil down there. And the only person that we know for sure who knows what's in there is Chris themselves, who seems to know a whole lot more here than they ever seem to be letting on. Like, it seems like Chris is going through a mental struggle with having relied on Asriel for so long as a sibling, having to, you know, having been adopted first and foremost, and then the adopted parents separate, and then like the brother goes to college, and like it's maybe not the best mental state to be in, and this brother that went to college has had like all these accomplishments, whereas you yourself as Chris have like almost nothing to your name when you look at the two beds next to each other with like Asriel's covered in trophies and like nothing to Chris's name. And even in chapter 2 here, as we were going around talking with some people, a lot of people are just like Burger Pants, for example, like, oh, go tell Asriel, or people talk about like, oh, you always used to do that stuff with Asriel, like always talk about like him, like not really giving Chris as much individuality. And this like other Asriel within these worlds that are being created of Ralsei is like a much more dependent figure, is also the case. Very much just like, yeah, I always want to be with you guys. You guys are my friends. I just want to like spend my days with you, and you know, I can't stand being alone, which is a potential reflection of Chris's own personality onto this like imaginary Ralsei. Imaginary slash semi-real, because now chapter 2 has shown that these worlds are actually kind of real. They are kind of real pocket dimensions or something that Chris is making. And maybe it, I don't know, maybe it's kind of, Undertale kind of broke the fourth wall in a way of like incorporating main game mechanics into part of the story, like the save and load feature, or being able to like hop across worlds with these all being different saves, and the only people that really knew about that being like you, either as the player, Sans and Flowey and stuff like that, who knew about that. Like when you battle against a Mega Flowey in Undertale, there's Flowey abusing the save and load feature over and over again to kill you over and over again. Or there's Sans who talks about how many times he's killed you when you keep facing him over and over and over again, like he knows and such. So I'm starting to wonder if like maybe Chris is one of these knowers as well, and is on to what's going on here in terms of like the ability to do things like saving and loading, and being able to abuse the mechanics of the world to create these pocket dimensions or something, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. Oh, quit just immediately, like, quits the game as a whole. Wow, that took me 7 hours. I'm looking at my playtime on Steam now. Wow, that was a bit longer than Chapter 1. Methinks. But yeah, hold on. Let's just play freaking Nyx the Shield's Undertale 6th Anniversary mix thingamabob as I ramble here and stuff. Like, because it's usually after we beat a game that I give, like, my full review of a game, essentially. I mean, we've talked about Deltarune before because we did Chapter 1. Where's my, is it this layout? Hey, look, there's a bunch of chat from, like, way earlier and stuff, and there's my desktop and stuff. Isn't that crazy? How I kind of felt about that, like, I was very intrigued. It, you know, confirmed some things from the first chapter and also, you know, brought some new things to the table with Chapter 2, like the whole idea of, you know, this is actually real after all, in a sense, which is an interesting thought. And it seems very much like Chris just takes out the soul, the heart, you as the player, whenever Chris wants to, like, secretly do some evil stuff in the background, essentially. Like, who knows what happened after Chapter 1 brandishing that knife? Like, something might have happened. In this one, we know that what happened was tire slashing and opening some freaking portal, one of those bits that looked like one of those dark beams that we needed to, you know, conquer in each of these worlds, in each of these chapters, almost. And the TV getting a smile, almost as if it's like the Omega Flowey TV or something like that, is what it seemed like. In terms of, like, the whole thing so far, again, with me giving, like, review after I do things, gameplay still fun as it was before, as always. Essentially, had a good time with that. Maybe we'd come back to it very briefly if it turns out there's a secret optional boss like Chapter 1 had Jevil. If there's a secret one in this, then I'll go and do it in, like, a mini session later. But I don't know if there's gonna be things like that in this. The bosses in this definitely felt like pretty spicy and fun, though. That was a good time. Like, it's been a year and a half since I did, you know, Chapter 1, but it felt like this one did have a lot greater focus on the combat and the gameplay. Probably because Chapter 1, you couldn't even control Susie for a lot of the game, and a lot of the story was, you know, winning her over, essentially. So I feel like a lot of that the combat and gameplay in that game wasn't super serious, and you only had, like, the more serious kind of gameplay towards the end with bosses like the freaking Spade King or whatever the heck, Lancer's dad, or with Jevil probably being the most prime example of, like, hey, this is the kind of boss battles you might be able to expect more of when, you know, more of the game comes out and, you know, there's a focus on that kind of thing. So in this one, it felt like it was more focused from the get-go in terms of that gameplay, because it wasn't focused from the get-go in Chapter 1 for storytelling reasons, so it makes sense. And I generally enjoyed it, though it was interesting getting used to using arrow keys instead of controller again, when the last time I used arrow keys was with Undertale's Genocide route with Evan Mix, so that was intriguing. The music, great as always. I am definitely going to be looking into the soundtrack of you know, what Chapter 2 added here after this when I get the chance, and I can't wait to see what various remixers that I follow will have to do with what they'll come up with the various themes that Chapter 2 added here. My nose, because it is once again very good music. I really like the comedy in it, as I always do with Undertale / Deltarune, essentially. Like this this definitely gave me quite a bit of laughs, definitely put a big smile on my face. But yeah, it was quite intriguing. Right now, the only things that, you know, we really know for sure right now, or at least, like, heavily implied to be the case, is Chris can take the soul in and out at will, and typically takes it out to go do something not so good, and then put the soul back in. And we don't know what Chris's motivations for this is right now. Like, we know that Chris has had some internal conflict with you know, needing connections with others and losing the brother to college and feeling like he's gone and stuff like that, to the point that this manifestation with freaking Ralzai is created. But we still don't have like a reason for going out and doing things like slashing car tires, like creating these pocket dimension things, essentially, now that chapter 2 has said like these are like actual real things that are happening, not just everybody consensually role-playing, you know. And what are the motivations for opening like this dark portal that opens something that can only remind me of the Flowey TV, which implies to me that it has to do something with like some system that, you know, is aware of the mechanics of the world and the things like save and load and all that kind of stuff, because that's what the Flowey TV was able to do in Undertale, was like save and load. So I feel like Chris and this summoned Flowey TV or whatever the heck is aware of the bigger picture of being able to like save and load in the mechanics of this world. But that's where things are gonna have to be left until chapter 3, which, who knows, maybe it'll be 3 years from now, like the gap between chapter 1 and chapter 2 was. We'll see what happens. I can't wait to see what kind of digging people do here into this. Oh, and the last thing that we know for sure is that the freaking underground facility, there's something evil and dark down there, and Chris knows what it is. Does it tie into their power somehow? Maybe. I don't know. We've got 5 chapters left. Over the course of maybe over the next decade. Apparently, Toby Fox has said, like, this could take him, like, 999 years to do, so who knows if, the day will come that we get the complete story of Deltarune, but hopefully, because I want to see how it plays out. I really want to see how it plays out, you know? See what's going through that crazy man's head. So, that's all I can really offer on that. When chapter 3 does come out, we'll be playing it on the channel. Absolutely, just like we've done chapter 1 and 2. So, look forward to whenever that is, I guess. This one just came out of nowhere. Like, it was announced yesterday. Like, oh, Deltarune chapter 2 is coming out tomorrow. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm streaming it then. In that case, like, just out of nowhere. Like, no heads up that it was coming ahead of, like, about 36 hours before it actually released. Which is kind of crazy. So who knows? Maybe it's gonna be complete radio silence for the next 3 years again. Until chapter 3 comes out. We'll see. We'll see. I will wind up Googling what happens on the first day if you chill on that circle after the second day stuff, because I don't want to play all the way through chapter 1 again just to find that. I'll wait until somebody else finds it out. That's what I'll do. Maybe it'll be something crazy lore-wise, but it's not something we're going to be covering on this channel unless we go back to do like some optional boss I missed anyway. Wait, but that still wouldn't... I still wouldn't be doing chapter 1 because I have to do chapter 1 all over again on PC here instead, so we're not doing that. So if you want to find out what's going on with that, freaking Google it yourself like I'm going to be doing. After a few days have passed and people have actually, you know, torn this apart and looked for secrets and stuff, so we'll see what comes with it. If I stick around here any longer, I'm just going to be freaking rambling for 3,000 years. So I guess that is where we shall wrap things up until, who knows, maybe 3 years from now. Who knows? We'll be back with more Deltarune in maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. That's not for me to decide. And we'll see what comes of it. The baby here is very tired. And she'll probably be grateful for me to wrap up this stream here. Wrap up by chatting and all this set of shenanigans. This was another fun adventure through Deltarune. I can't wait for the next one. But I am going to have to wait because it's going to be like years again. So, until years from now, thanks all who stopped by and hung out for this set of shenanigans. And until next time, take care and see ya.